In my youth and childhood, I developed a strong indication towards cheap dopamine. It started at age 8 when I got an iPad and soon started grinding Clash of Clans. By 10, it escalated to porn, at 12 to Fortnite, maybe even worse. And later it escalated to alcohol and nicotine. Soon after that, 13 or 14 was the first time. So we played video games and we pretty had a good time. I watched Let's Plays about Fortnite and before Clash of Clans, and we didn't think about it. I mean, everyone did it, and it was quite a good time. It was new, so everyone played Fortnite and video games. So in general, I look back and see it as a good time. But I was deeply addicted to cheap dopamine. So it was the typical path of a Gen Z teenager. It had become my norm to be in a constant consumption cycle. And as video games, alcohol and stuff became less interesting, with this mindset of consuming, I got into the world of self-improvement 2.5 years ago. And at that point, my new addiction became self-help content. Tutorials, how-to guides, and videos with flashy edits that held my attention to keep consuming. And those videos made me feel, the worst thing is that those videos didn't really brought me anywhere and made me feel productive. So that's the paradox with self-help content if you don't use it constructively. So as I entered with the mindset of being a consumer, I never was an action taker. That's what should have been taught to me, and I didn't realize it. I thought this content would sooner or later bring me where I want to be, but actually, if I didn't change my mindset to a person who takes action, I would probably still be in the same situation as I were 2.5 years ago. I've realized that many self-help creators take the term too literally. They help themselves more than they help others. If we see the internet as one community, it has different movements in it. And each of these movements are trying to grow, and each movement kind of fights each other. They want to grow and get consumers, And how do they survive? By capturing the attention of the consumers. So this also applies to the self-improvement movement. And as the algorithms support extreme content and polarizing content, often not the most helpful content goes viral, but the most polarizing content, of course. It's exactly that content that brings the dopamine addicted consumers to their movements. And that was me, for example. But that's not the content that really helps. It's just the content that gives you the same dopamine hit as some shitty TV series would give you. It doesn't bring you anywhere. And most of this content serves the creators more than it does the consumers. So that's why the term self-help, many self-help creators take the term too literally and help themselves more than they actually do help others. Fundamentally, their goal is to help themselves and to grow themselves, to grow their businesses. I guess I would have made much more progress if I only had watched probably 1/10 of the content I watched about the general topic of self-improvement. What should I have done instead? Before binge-watching self-improvement content with no clear direction, you should ask yourself a few questions first. So as I went into self-improvement content with the mindset of being a consumer, I binge watched. I binge watched self-improvement and I thought it would bring me, no, it would help me. And I think in retrospect, I was kind of looking for the one thing that would bring me where I want to be, but I didn't really know where I wanted to be. I was just, I was simply a consumer. Instead of taking action in my free time, I was glued to these videos. And I kept telling myself that I'm not ready. But fun fact, you will never be ready, or you will never feel ready to go, or you just have to start. So I could have saved myself a lot of time if I just had the insight that a lot of content out there is really helpful, but it doesn't serve me in the situation I am right now. The only thing that happened was it made me feel productive as I was watching helpful content. That's it. So in hindsight, I could have been watching some TV series instead of watching some self-improvement content about business, but I didn't have a business yet. You know what I mean? I personally refuse to be part of this system that just feeds people with cheap dopamine. Instead, I aim to guide others onto a path that helps them escape this consumption trap. So, what I should have asked myself before I was, getting into the world of self improvement was, what do I want to learn in the first place? I mean, you wouldn't attend a university lecture without deciding what topic you want to learn about. So considering to unsubscribe everyone and then ask yourself this question and then do specific research for which content or which content helps you to learn what you want to learn. Follow only those who bring genuine change in your life. So shift your role from a consumer to a researcher and from a researcher to an action taker. I think self-improvement should serve as an inspiration source for the actions that you already take. And here's an interesting quote, I'm reading it down. It's self-help is not as valuable as it seems, especially with content. Almost everyone's incentive is to just steal your attention to grow their own businesses. That's something that Hamza Ahmed told. He's probably one of the most famous or successful self-help YouTubers. And he said that in one of his videos, and I feel that's absolutely true. This quote hits me hard because it describes exactly what I experienced. Some videos had millions of views, and I was thinking like, okay, it has 2 million views, and has it actually changed 2 million lives? Even though the advice is extremely valuable, it's not about how valuable some content is or not, but has it actually changed something in your life? And looking back, the answer is no for me. Only a few creators have brought actual change to my life. And it wasn't the ones with the best video production or editing skills, and it's the content, it's like those who had the balls to say what I needed to hear in my situation. And that's different from person to person. Maybe it has changed. Maybe the video I've seen, maybe videos who had 2 million views changed 2 million lives, but not mine. So you have to find those videos or those creators who actually make a change in your life. And before you continue to keep on consuming some things after half a year of consuming their content, you're not anywhere. You should consider to unsubscribe, even though you feel productive while watching it. You want win-win situations where the consumer and the creator both gain something. I want to create real change in lives, and everything else would be a waste of their time, and that's not my intention. So here's another action step. before you keep on consuming. And that is, ask yourself where you want to be in 1 year from now. So today is, or like we're in December 24, and where do you want to be in December 25? Write it down. And you don't have to overcomplicate this. Like, just you know what you desire. In 1 year, there's a lot possible. So don't limit yourself, and then just start creating. Face challenges that will come along the way and solve them with research about the topic or about the problem you have. And then move forward. How to master any skill fast. Stop studying, outline a project, start building it, hit a roadblock, research how to overcome it, repeat until it's done. Most people get trapped in tutorial hell and have nothing to show for years of learning. Dan Coe. I want to bring real change into people's lives. And that happens through brutally honest authenticity. And that's something I have to learn, because I was always like the kind of person who tried to, be cool with everyone. And I was often afraid to say what has to be said, even because I was shy of conflict. I don't want to hurt anyone. And if I did in the past, which of course I've hurt people, and that's because of my own deep insecurity. That's the only thing that moved me to hurt others. So that's something I really have to learn and work on it. And that is, I guess, to build self-respect, to be able to say what has to be said and respect myself for what I've just said, and be sure that it will bring value. Take action. Peace.